Despite how unhappy some Bulls fans are with the current state of the team, it seems like the jobs of both the Bulls front office members and head coach Billy Donovan are expected to be safe. We're going to talk about it all and more, and I know we're going to have some reactions right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's get into this content for today, and I can't wait to see how you guys react to this one. So this one does come from a source that you guys know I'm not all the way happy with, and I don't really completely rock with them, but Joe Cowley has been on things lately. He did say this, that Bulls ownership is still sending out an edict to fix it, but according to a source, they have no plans to make a move on Executive Vice President Arturas Karnisovas, GM Mark Eversley, or Coach Billy Donovan this offseason. They still feel AK is the right guy for the job. Now, I know that last part is really going to hit some Bulls fans, that AK is still the right guy for the job. That's the part that really brought about the most concern, right? Is there no, here's the thing. Even if Bulls ownership likes the job or feels confident in it, but like, is it this blind faith that we've seen again? Like, Arturas he's one of those guys where it's like we have the outline of a plan, we have the concepts of a plan, but he never really seals all the plan together, right? Don't even get me started on Billy Donovan. While I've said before, Billy Donovan isn't some horrible coach that a lot of people try to make him out to be, but at what point is sometimes to create change, you have to make people uncomfortable. And it seems like the Bulls front, the ownership group here, the thing is, let's make everybody as comfortable as possible. You're not going to lose your job. Go out there and get stuff done. What incentive is it for some people to fix what they've done wrong if there's not pressure, right? I go back to the Chicago Bears, right? Ryan Poles was under tremendous pressure. If you look at where the season ended, and what Bears fans like, oh, we got to get Poles. Poles' job should be on the line. And then when Poles went out and changed the head coach, the way that he went about the coaching search, right? The different energy around the team. Now there's been more of an edict around Ryan Poles to say, okay, let's see what Ryan Poles is going to do with his new head coach with Ben Johnson. For the fact that everybody is safe, Billy Donovan, safe. Mark Eversley, safe. Arturas Karnisovas, safe. Do you really think that a lot of change is going to come out of keeping the same pieces around? It's just, I don't know, man. This is just another thing where it comes down to, yet again, the place that this Bulls team is in right now. You know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like, the fact that Billy Donovan, Mark Eversley, and Arturas are all 100% safe, where's the accountability? And if you're not holding the people that are doing the job accountable, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect to happen? What do you really expect to change if there's no accountability? That is one of the worst things about this team right now. And I'm not even one to say that Arturas can't necessarily turn it around. But is he being held accountable for the way that things have gone? The first version of this team that he brought here, it failed. You took a 4-year detour to wind up in the exact same place that you were when you took over the team, with less assets, less draft picks than what you had, and just as many questions. BKR says, we've already established that they share a bed with the Reinsdorfs, so it makes sense. Listen, it is what it is. Lloyd says, when does WNBA start? I'm tired of the Bulls, bro. Hey, I feel you, man. Quentin says, yep, Billy is never leaving. He's about to have a statue out front that says, oh, we stay competitive. That's a big fact there. Big fact there, man. Shay in the building says, with all due respect, my brother, tell us something that we don't already know. You basically already told us this before the season even started. You know what it is? I have been saying this. I've been saying that Billy Donovan's probably going to see out his contract. I've been saying that AK and Eversley are probably going to be here for another 5 to 6 years at least, unless they want to move on from their job. But it just is the thing that once you hear it, that it's like, oh yeah, everybody's safe, right? You always hold that in a little bit of the back of your mind. It's like, all right, how much can you fail before your job's on the line? And what this is telling us and telling every Bulls fan is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad this Bulls team is. Now, make no mistake about it. This team is supposed to be bad. They're trying to stack up draft picks, and maybe that has bought this team a little bit of time. There is a world in which the Bulls deciding to go younger, deciding to stack draft, well, can we even say stack draft assets, get their own first-round pick back, that it bought them some time to say, all right, let's see this next version through. Maybe. But when you look at the draft history, right? By the way, I got the coolest desk mat ever in the world. It has wireless chargers all over the mug. I just get to put my phone down anywhere and it charges it. It's dope. But when you look at this, it's just like it just goes back to looking at this team and just saying we really are going to be stuck in just no real direction for another 3, 4, 5 years, unless somebody turns into a star. Nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. JT Max says, I wish Billy Donovan would just move on. Listen, Billy is not like Billy has the job security that we all wish that we had. I think you would struggle to find any coach in the NBA whose record has gotten worse 3 years in a row, that their record has gotten worse. That job is completely safe. I don't think that's happened in at least the last 10 years. We see coaches with winning records get fired regularly within the last 5 or 6 years. Billy Donovan's record as a coach has gotten worse every year after the first year of becoming head coach of Chicago Bulls. He had that bad first year because we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. We had that team that won over 40 games, and then after that, it's been down every year after that. The Bulls would have to have an almost 60% win percentage for the rest of the way to get back to their win total of last year. And that's not going to happen. So you mean to tell me that technically somebody who's gotten worse at their job every single year, it has complete safety? Nobody. Sorry, Siri. Nobody else has that. There's nobody. If you go to your job and your performance has gotten worse every year for 3 years in a row, you're going to get fired. Weathermen don't have as much leeway as being wrong as Billy Donovan has been in coaching this team. But he has ultimate safety. That's just crazy, man. That's just it's really wild. It's really freaking crazy when it all comes down to it, man. Honestly, I'm surprised Billy wants to stay personally. Listen, if you got the job, if you can walk into work and you know you could walk into work and not do anything right, and they're going to look at you and say, thank you. How many more years do you want on your contract? Why would you leave? Why would you leave? Why would you leave? Yo, my Bulls and my New York Giants have terrible owners. I'm starting to think it's me, man. Maybe it is you. No, it's not you, Supernatural. It's never the fans, bro. That right there makes you wonder what kind of blackmail they have on AK or something. Man, I have no idea, fam. None. This makes absolutely no sense. Billy is like Kanye's wife. I just keep wondering, why do you want to deal with this? I guess money talk. If you didn't hear, they broke up. Kanye's wife even came to realization before the Chicago Bulls. They just broke up. Look at that, right? That was an apt comparison. It's funny that you said that. Billy left his stamp on a franchise for the next decade with his son in the G. He's probably going to step in as Bulls head coach when Billy. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Cher says they don't want to win. They fill seats regardless. This team tanks year after. We've never tanked. And that's part of the problem. This team has just been bad, right? It's crazy. There's no money in paying luxury tax. Franchises appreciate on their own. Just put a team and make money. I mean, we're not even having to talk about, unless you're talking to somebody else in the comments, we're not talking about anybody paying the luxury tax. And the fans will still keep spending money on tickets, going to games, not putting pressure on the owner to make changes. We've had that discussion before. JDH says, I'm going to need a bigger drinking glass. Hey, man, listen. Talked about falling upwards. How many other coaches and GMs can do nothing but fail at everything they do and still keep their jobs? Listen, all jokes aside, right? Just looking at it as just from a performance standpoint. If anybody can think of another example, I'm open to it. But as of right now, I can't think of a coach that has had complete safety after getting worse year after year for 3 years in a row. I really don't think that that's happened in recent memory. I could be wrong. I could be missing something. Please, if anybody else has any examples, please don't hesitate to bring them up, because maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe I'm just missing it. I'm cool with being bad as long as they have a plan. But if he doesn't trade Vooch and Coby for picks this offseason, I will find it impossible to believe he knows what you're not trading Coby for. I tell you this right now. You're not getting picks for Coby with Coby's performance this season. You're not getting that. It's not getting that. Expected to be safe, bro. Listen, Rack, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Bro, you're underestimating AK. AK is the right guy for the job. If we're talking about you under 16s, West Side Rec team president, put your feet up and get ready to play INS versus Atlanta for the next 10 years. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And once Billy leaves, AK will announce our new coach, Doc. Listen, if we go from Billy Donovan to Doc Rivers, that may be it for me. That may be it for me. I'm not saying that I'm going to stop the show. That's never going to stop, but it's going to be Petty Roosevelt all the time at that point. There's going to be no more Haize on this show. I will literally announce a show at Chicago Bulls Central hosted by Petty Roosevelt. There's no more Haize at that point in time. If you go from Billy Donovan to Doc Rivers, I will literally be on demon time every time I turn on the microphone. That's it. Every single time it's going to be Petty Roosevelt. It's not going to be anything constructive. I'm on demon time every time I clock in. Every single time I clock in. I promise you that. They must be still making enough money for ownership, and that's all they care about. Listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Dang, this is the best news I heard all day. I mean, listen, we're going to have high draft picks for at least a while, so there you go on that one. There you go. And maybe that's the plan. Maybe the plan is keep everything the same until we draft a superstar and then be like, oh, bet we actually have a star. All y'all need to get out the way. Maybe, right? I have no idea. Doc is from Bellwood, so I wouldn't be surprised if, listen, that's going from the frying pan into the fire, man. You talk about a coach that doesn't make adjustments. Doc Rivers is that guy. He's Black Billy Donovan. You telling me you don't want Doc Ninja Turtle Rivers as head coach? Can't wait for us to draft the rest of TMNT. That is hilarious. Hey, y'all, welcome to Petty Central. Man, listen, it's going to be, for those that don't like the roast, y'all not going to like where I'm at if we were to ever hire Doc Rivers. Like, that's not good. That's not good. Imagine if we lose the lottery ball. Well, you can't lose the lottery ball. You just don't win the lottery. And the Bulls probably aren't going to win the lottery. That's just not what's going to happen. That is the plan. You just said it. Probably. Man, it is what it is, man. Hey, listen, I said it before and I'll say it again. Bulls fans, we're in for a very, very, very long time. That's all I can say. It's going to be very, very long before we actually get the team that the city deserves, the team that the fan base deserves. It's about to be a very, very, very long time. And that's just is what it is. Like, I hate to say it, but one thing I'm always going to do with y'all is be realistic. It's going to be a very long time. Things are going to be tough here for a very, very long time. Have to hope for a top 3 pick. But here's the thing, though, right, John? And I feel that. But then the thing is, all right, you get the guy, but then you still have to recognize how to put talent around that guy, right? Unless they're a transcendent star. Even LeBron needed other stars, right? Mike needed Pip. So even if you do draft a star, who's to say that it's not going to turn out like Dame Lillard in Portland, to where you got a star, you got a really good player, but you end up wasting their career because you can't put the right team around them. And that's my concern here, right? Is that, okay, what if they do get a star in this draft and that star is filling seats, they're having really good seasons, winning awards, individual accolades, him and Modest Bucilis, whoever that is, they turn into a great 1-2 punch. But then how do you fill out the rest of the team? Has AK and Eversley shown that they're going to put the rest of the team, be able to put a team around those guys, right? That's the question. That's the question. But I guess we don't have the answer to that yet. All we can do is speculate and talk about it, and we'll see what's going to happen, man. But hey, We'll see what happens. Thank you guys for tuning in, man, for this late night stream. And I just had to I saw this article a couple of hours ago, and I could not wait to talk to you guys about it. I had to wait till everything kind of calmed down. But make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And this is a perfect picture to tell you how I feel about this news. Gums, things that don't make sense. How do you got so much gum and not any teeth? Love you guys. Go Bulls. See Red, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.